There, I'm gonna start a new series. The series will be about how I'm going to create a modular wagon um, for to be attached to an animal, in our case a horse. Um, I'm gonna build this in 3ds Max. I could do it in Maya, but I know 3ds Max a little bit better. So otherwise I will have like Yankee Wanky videos where half of the time I don't know what I'm doing or I cannot find the tool I need. So that's why I'm going to use the tool I'm familiar to. You can use Blender or Maya, it doesn't matter. The, the logic stays the same. The intention is to build the model in parts and then in Unreal build it. So I'm gonna use, or I'm gonna look at different um, tactics, I would say, to um, to see what is the best way to really start from scratch, starting a model, a little bit more complicated model than a knife or a box or a chest or whatever, because we have spinning parts, we have rotating parts. Then also we have UV mappings we need to, yeah, to do properly. Okay, I'm gonna use, like I said, 3D Max to do the modeling. I'm gonna use maybe a bit Photoshop and 3D code. The last one is the issue because he always, I don't know why, but for some reason he always mess up my end product, let me say. That's why in the writing system tutorial we are also working on. Um, I have a model and yeah, I set it up to be shared, that you can follow along and that you can test also and maybe find better ways and then put it back to me that we can put it in the tutorial. But I'm now gonna try building it, like I say, modular and make it maybe like an asset on the marketplace. The last part we will see. So I already created my folder structure and everything, so I'm not gonna go over those things, how you set up your project in Maya or however. There are enough videos how you can do that, so I'm only gonna focus on what I want to do. So if you cannot follow along, there's only one good friend you have, and that's Google. Just ask him and he will tell you where you need to find your information. Okay, so what I did, I already imported the horse models as a reference for the scaling. Then I created a tube. The tube is this one. So I created the cube. The cube has 24 sides, wide 24. For the spikes, I need to have 12 spikes, so 24 divided by 2 is 12. That's good. I gave it the name wheel F001. That will be our first front wheel. Basically, the front wheel can be used as back wheel also, so it's more wheel, but I gave it already the correct naming, or the naming I'm thinking to be It's got a radius of 48 centimeters as the first radius, the second radius, the inner radius, as 43, and the width or the height in this case, they call it, I put it on 9. I'm not converting them yet to polys. I'm gonna just say what I did until now. I moved the pivot points to the center on both. Then I just created a cylinder, created it, gave it the same measurements as our wheel, as this will be our wheel collision. I could make it a little bit smaller, but why I'm not gonna do that is because what we now have is our wood structure. And if you look at real Horsewagon wheels, they have the extra iron ring around the wheel. So I think if we look at that in game how the wheel will react, then let me see, where is it? Yeah, I think so. Do this one. Slide it a little bit down. Yeah, I'm not gonna rotate anything. So this is the landscape. This is the landscape, and that is then the wheel collision, this one. This is what is causing the contact with the surface, the floor, or your landscape, or your building. If you build a horse racing game on buildings or something, you never know. So that will be the touch point. Okay, so normally if I put the plane needs to be zeroed out, zero out, zero out, zero out. Where is he? He's at the horse. Okay, that's good. Then slide it, because I want to have the wheel. So you see the wheel is not contacting the ground for the moment. So then we're gonna, what has happened here? I deleted it. That's not good. Well, because those parts need to be, or need to have exactly the same name, with the collision having a prefix of UCX underscore in front of it. Okay, and if you have more, for example, you build a barrel, for example, put it on the side, and for example, this is the barrel. You have it like in segments. Every different parts can have different collision. You can maybe have like one part that has collision, and then like I have it here in my house. I have like an old wooden barrel where they created like a bar, a mini bar. So you have two doors that go open. So in that case, you will be having not one collision over the complete mesh, because yeah, the doors need to go open. You need to get your hand inside the barrel, to pick the glass or to pick the bottle of booze. So then you need to have on the doors collisions. So when the doors open, they collide, but the whole inside cannot have collision. Then we speak about really making like circles, divide them in two, connect them back together, and by going like create a poly, select all the vertices on this side like that, delete them, then reconnect the face again, so that it's one part again, with no open holes in it for the collision. And then you really need to say like the first ring goes here. It's a complete closed ring like this one. Then here starts the opening, for example. Then we have that half or where you cut out the piece, for example. So that is how you need to do it, and then you give it the same name, like for we're gonna say barrel. Barrel is our mesh name. Then the first collider will be barrel UCX underscore barrel underscore 00. The next one will be 01, 02, 0, and so on. So that is how you if I totally understand everything correct, this should be how you need to do it, because it's not the first time I did a model in a game. In few years back, I was heavily involved in the farming simulator, also focusing on animals and those things. So I did some maps and some code, and then in the end I created a trailer, a cattle trailer. That was not a perfect model. I'm not a modeler, but I'm trying to do my best if I want to do something and to make it look nice. It's not always working out correctly, but in the farming simulator, once you go in the export event, then basically you need to also set it up. Then you need to have like XML files and everything, but for now in real, I'm not gonna point it to any XML files or anything. So we're gonna really build it as meshes. Maybe already include the bones if needed. I will see during the process of developing the modular system. But in this, I'm gonna only create the elements, so that, yeah, a little bit like IKEA, Lego, Meccano, or kind of model of ID, I would say. So okay, I'm gonna start with my wheel. So that is, I'm just gonna create the base parts at the moment. So a wheel, yeah, that is good. We have the wheel. Okay, the wheel we hide. Then I'm gonna restart. So I have my points. And I'm gonna do something, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna quickly make some references. The plane landed where it is. The horse is standing 0, 0. The horse is standing 0, 0. Not that big, it's not needed. Yeah, that is just 5 is pretty small. 0 down, so that is our center point. That is the center point. This is the center point if you export your model to Unreal, like that is what I have in the current thing, well, in the current state of my wagon inside the tutorial series of the riding system. So put the wheels back on quickly. So now the wheel, and this is what you get, this is really what you get. So you know, when you click on the wheel, the center point is there. There is the center point, simple as that. When you rotate it, it rotates around this point. Okay? When you import it, blah 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 blah, this is what you get when you're building your model. Your center point is over here, and your wheel or your mesh or what is over there. Only when you include bones in it, then you will do it. It's stupid as hell, putting all those efforts into centering all your parts in your 3D program, and then to find out when you import it that basically all your rotating points you had in mind are completely lost, or you need to import it in another way because there was something you can think out, but then you sit with the same situation we are doing now. We create a wheel, we for example we create a box. The box needs to be, for example, or framing thing, like that, and then we exported it, and then you come. My frame is standing over there, the wheel is standing over here, my horse is standing over the other side of the horizon. Yeah, that is so stupid. So now I'm gonna build it here again with the correct center point. If that is not working, or I really cannot manage to keep my model together like I did it here, then I'm forced to make a master blueprint where I will need to spend a lot of time in to position everything, and then start with base, really say like dividing everything. We have the wheel place, we have a frame is the trailer or the wagon we are building. Is it a four-wheeler? Oh yeah, it's a four-wheeler. We need to have 1, 2, 3, 4 wheels. Does it have a steering axe in the front? Yes, it has. Alright, and so on and so on and so on. So that is what I'm going to do now. So I'm gonna now start by looking at some pictures I have, just to see the models, because they are fairly similar. So then once I looked at the models, I can say like we need to have that kind of frame. Once we have that kind of frame, we can build upon the body, for example. So we make it, because once in Unreal, you need to have your wheels and everything. Your body, it has nothing to do with the steering and everything. So I would build it like the good old power Jeeps are built, and the trucks are built, not like the stupid plastic cars like these days. You have a frame, the wheels, the steering, the engine. You can basically put your chair on top of the frame, put gasoline in it, water and everything, hit the engine, and you can drive it. You do not need the body. The body comes later. I want to have a Corvette. I want to have a Blazer. I want to have a Ford or whatever. We put the body on it. But the frame stays the same. The engine, well, they put it in another engine. Okay, it's another engine. You don't see that. Once the body is connected, you don't see that. So we need to focus on first building the rough structure, like make it rideable, and then start focusing on making nice design, making combinations of the wagon. But in this session, we're gonna build all the parts needed to come to those things. For now, I'm just gonna delete all those things except my wheel. I'm gonna close this for now. I will continue this evening with this series. Then I will have time enough to look at the pictures and everything and visualize, because I work with visualizations. Most modelers work with reference images. I'm not really using reference images in the sense of placing planes with images and all those things. I do it visually, mainly. I look at it, I stay looking at it, and I'm really, yeah, looking and separating it basically. That is maybe a leftover from when I was working in construction, that I have that gift to do that, to look at things and really visualize without having really measurements and everything next to me. So, but yeah, we will see. But this is basically what we're going to do in this tutorial series: build this modular wagon and see the different outcomes. There will be no written thing in this case. In the other tutorial, I do the written thing also. So yeah, I would say thanks for watching. If you know this aspect, in the sense of I do this daily, on a daily basis. I create models, I bring them into the game, I create simple models, but I also create very complex mechanisms, like really high quality cars and stuff like that. You can always contact me and point me in good directions and those things. For the rest, yeah, I do everything on myself, so that's why it can take some time. But in the end, if I want to have something done, we will get it done, no problem. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next session. Thank you, bye bye.